Okay, we're back to On Your Own. You will have had time to go back and look at those 6 writing samples, compare it with what your partner thought so you can have an adjacent score. And so let's see how TA scored the samples. Let's see how TEA scored the samples. As soon as this PowerPoint will move on, we will move on. Okay. Just the reminders. Read the paper as it is if you had that time to do that. Read it out loud if you can. Look at the rubric when you're scoring your own. Go back to the TEA scoring guide. You have 4 examples per writing samples that you can look at according to the writing performance. You're going to be using textual evidence, going back and seeing your samples. I believe it has this based on the rubric, and here's the reasons why. Always use the language of the rubric when taking notes and making comments. Okay, you're going to record your results. You might have a sample page where you put your score point and then your partner puts their score point. Alright, so remember, we're going back to this. We find the personal narrative prompt. Write about a time when someone said you did a great job. And here's the first sample. When I was 5 and I was 3 feet 6 tall and I had Legos. I wanted to take a tower out of Legos. Make a tower out of Legos. I started with a 40 by 40 plate to hold it. I started with big on the bottom and small at the top. It took 3 days for me to be 4 feet tall. I put a secret at the bottom, top 8 row. I put 6 times 2 bricks in, or 6 by 2 bricks and 2 by 2 bricks to hold the tower up. When I was done, my mom took a picture of me in my Lego tower. It looked like there were 1,000 Legos. I even put Lego fingers on the bottom. My mom said, "Great job." Okay. What did you all think? What should this have received? I found that it was hard to follow. The person who wrote it tried to put some detail in there, but 40 by 40, the 2 by, but those were distracting for me. I think this would have been a 2, a 1, and a 1. Just because it was hard to follow, and I'm thinking about it. They tried to write a narrative. We'll see what TEA thinks. What did you all think? That's a 2. Score 1, score the very limited. Score 2, very limited. Very limited writing performance. Let's look at sample 2. I went through the checklist in my mind. Naan bread, check. Secret sauce, check. Marinara sauce, check. Cheese, check. Tomatoes, check. Basil, check. My night to make dinner, and it's only my 2nd time. Then again, everyone loves a yummy, delicious super pizza. I smear my secret sauce all over the bread. Then I spread a bucket full of marinara sauce on, and cheese on it was coming down like rain. After that, I plop on about 4 or 5 or 6 tomatoes on it. Then I put about 10 pieces of basil on top and push it into the oven. Wait for 10 minutes, and after 7 minutes I can smell the cheese all the way from the kitchen to the door. I take the pizza out of the oven and it looks like breadsticks from heaven. I let my mom and stepdad try it, and they both loved it. Alright, what did you give it, and what was your adjacent score? I like a lot of the vocabulary that was used, the word choice, I should say, the rhythm of it, especially in the middle. This check, secret sauce bucket full of marinara sauce. I like that a lot. It was hard to read with the way the person wrote across, but that's not a part of the rubric. I plopped it on. I like that, and they had good use of conventions. I thought some parts felt expository to me, just how they're doing a certain part. It was like almost like a procedure. After that, I plopped that, but I could see it in my mind. I'm thinking maybe a 3. I don't think it's a 2. I think it's better than a 2. I don't think it's a 4. So I would think this may have received a 6. I really don't think I think it's better than a 2. I don't think it's a 7, but I think it could be a 6. Okay. Adjacent score 1, satisfactory writing performance. 3, adjacent score 2, satisfactory writing performance. It just bordered a little bit on the expository. That's why I was sort of hesitant. But I guess that they believed it had enough a narrative to make it. So sample number 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are the counts to my hip hop dance. There are the counts to my hip hop dance. It's my first day of dance with my new dance teacher, and it's rough. I came a little late on dancing because I quit my other hip hop class because none of my friends were with me, so it was hard to have fun. That's why I joined Swift's class. Everybody in the class was doing great except me. I was stuck looking around at Swift, our dance teacher, for help with the moves. That dance that they were learning had some swagger. It was hard to follow. I was really nervous. I got some of the dance moves without falling or tripping, but there was one dance move that was so hard I just wanted to quit and sit in the corner. No matter how I tried, I couldn't do it. We had to use our arms and go fast while making our moves sharp. It was pretty difficult. I couldn't wait for those last few minutes of class to be over. When we were finished, I ran to the office waiting room where my mom was sitting waiting for me. She asked how it went, and I just started crying. Then Swift came in, so I sucked it up and tried to look like I wasn't crying. He said that I did a great job for not knowing what to do and how to do it. He seemed very impressed. I was so happy to hear those words. I'm not a failure, I said to my mom. She knew I would do great. She always had believed in me. That's how I did a great job, and I got to hear it. Okay, so what did you all think? Well, what was your adjacent score? I think it wasn't a 1. I think it wasn't a 2. I think this borders on a 4. Or a 3, but I think it's a high 3 if it's a 3. It's probably a 7 because I can't say for certain that it's an 8. The reason why I say that is there's certain parts of it, especially at the beginning, that were a little confusing, and there was a little bit of repetition. But towards the middle, it got better and better. I got some of the dance moves talking about swagger. It was going fast. They were sharp, and it just flowed pretty well and to the end. I'm not a failure, so I'm saying it's a 7. I think it could have gotten a 7. Oh, it's an 8. Okay. Well, there's a reason for it. Maybe I was a little bit too hard on it. It's an accomplished writing performance for both. Interesting. Well, at least I wasn't 2 points off. I was only 1. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go back and look at it again and see. I thought it was a 4 and a high 3 or a low 4. So let's go to the next one. One day in school, we were getting ready to play a game of math facts. When we started the game, I was saying the multiples facts. Then fast. Then we finished. I won the game. They said it was me. Great job. I was proud of winning the game. I won because I practiced my math facts. Everyone were surprised how I won. If I didn't practice my math facts, I wouldn't have won. Maybe wouldn't have won. I practiced hard to learn my math facts. Everyone else practiced their math facts. Then they learned their math facts. I was surprised how I won the game. I've never won a game of math facts. Then they sent me a trophy for mathematics. That's the time. Someone said to me, great job. All right, so what did you give it? What was your adjacent score? I know that they kept saying math facts, repetition. Although the spelling is pretty decent, the conventions are a control of sentence boundaries. The problem was the development and just the constant repetition. But I don't think it's a 1. Because you can still fall. I'm saying it's a 4. It's a 2 and a 2. As far as the adjacent scoring. It's a score point 2 basic writing performance. There we go. It's a 4. Basic writing performance. Score 1 gave it a 2. Score 2 gave it a 2. And let's go to 5. Once when I had hold on, I'll read it again. Once when I had went to the dry cleaners to do all the laundry there was, first I had done is pat the detergent and soap so they can take off all the stains of every clothes. Another thing is all the clothes were wet. It was time to put it in the dryer. machine so it could have dried itself. Last, it was a time to take out the laundry and fold it all. There's a total of 84 clothes. There is 42 shirts and 42 pants. 21 were shorts. When I had folded all the clothes, there was my mom came and seen all the good work that was done. She said what a great job I had done with all the clothes I had done. Obviously, it's a second language learner because the tenses and things like that. Can I say that this is a narrative, personal narrative? Yes. Can I say that they address the prompt? Yes. The question is, I know it's not a 3, I know it's not a 4, and I know it's not a 1 because I can make sense of it. I say, maybe the person, because of the tenses and things, gave it a 1. Maybe one of them, it could be a 3, a 2, and a 1. Maybe that's what it was given. I don't know. I think it's probably a 4, but I'm thinking it could be one of those tweeners. Let's see. It's a 3. Very limited writing performance. So I would think the score 1 was paying attention to the tense shift, and some of the vocabulary or the word choice made some of the sentences sound awkward. So, and the other person didn't have so much a problem with that. So it's a 3. It's a tweener. Sample 6. You need to work faster, I said to my brother. His head was turning red each time I said it. We were decorating the Christmas tree and he was going really slow. When I said it again, he said, if you think this is easy, maybe you should try it. I was thinking about it and I said, I should try it. So he went and started to work. A few hours passed and I was halfway through the tree and I wanted to rest, but I needed to do it that day. My eyes were closing and my body wasn't as strong, but I kept working. I already finished the forest out of the tree and everything was shiny with red, blue, green, and yellow, but I still needed to put the star on the top of the tree. When I was putting up the star, I was getting more tired, but I ignored it. When I put the star on top of the tree, I fell and I was screaming, but the good thing that the floor was covered by the carpet. When my brother came, he never heard or saw what happened, and when he saw the tree, he said to me that I did a great job. I turned around and I said, I did a great job. Okay. So I'm looking at this. Did they address the prompt? Yes. Was it in a personal narrative? Yes. Did they use a lot of details? Yes. What about their conventions? Decent. Word choice, I would say it was higher than a 2. Ignored. I could go back over it. But there was a few points where I was a little confused. So I'm thinking it's not going to be a solid 4-4 combo. It's not a 2-3-5. I think this is a 7. Because I think that you could see things that made it a 4 and see things that made it a 3. And so they would have used the rubric definitely in those papers. But I'm thinking this is a 7 type paper. Yay! That's what I thought. So satisfactory writing performance 3, and someone thought it was an accomplished, a low 4. High 3, low 4. And so that's why it got a 7, because they had the adjacent scoring. How did you do? Were you 2 off, 3 off, or were you close? That's the most important thing, in understanding why. It's important to go back and look at your student papers from last year. Remember, always look at the rubric and go back to the writing scoring guide from TEA to help guide, because there's going to be 4 samples that show a little bit of each. So what's next? You've completed the phases 1, 2, and 3, and including the calibrating the 6. You are now ready to go and to look at your score, not your scores, but the samples that you took for the benchmark. Read them out loud, and then another person's going to read them, and you're going to take the combination adjacent score and put it into Eduphoria. A couple reminders: go back to the rubric to justify any score, and go back and show the text evidence. It's good to talk it through, because the more you talk it through, the more you understand it. You co-construct meaning together. Use a TA scoring guide to help anchor your thinking. Remember, there's 4 per writing score or writing performance. Now you're free to go about Texas scoring student writing samples. I took that from the Southwest commercials. And what I'd like you to do, and I realize Southwest is misspelled, we should have had an H there. How are you going to score me on this PowerPoint? Hopefully it'll be a 4 with one little minor error. But having said that, thank you so much for going through this, and I hope this better prepares you as a recalibration tool. We'll be scoring the expository in a similar fashion. and sometime in November, late November, you will be receiving this. So have a great time scoring, have those collaborative conversations, and I look forward to working with you soon. My name is Maureen Ucles, and if you have any questions or comments, please let me know and let your iCoach know. And basically, what's your takeaways? What stays with you? What are your thoughts, wonderings, epiphanies, and questions? It would be great to talk about it as a team, and thank you so much.